Lisa!
No way! What the fuck? Hi YouTube! Today we are going to recap our engagement story. How we got engaged. And not a lot of people know about this story, and it's a pretty funny story to tell. So it's gonna be a story time kind of vlog.
And we're gonna hit up a couple different places, or we'll tell you about our story.
Yeah, but first we're gonna go get some food and get some coffee. And we're gonna have our quick lunch. We got the Chipotle chicken sandwich from Mary Lane Cafe.
How do we begin?
How did you plan it? What was your planning process?
Okay, well first some backstory. We were dating since 2010. Fast forward 6 years later and it was time. It was finally time.
When did you
plan?
When did you think that was the time?
I don't know, I woke up one day and I was like, I guess it's time.
What?
Yeah, it's just, that's how things happen.
No.
It's not magical or anything. You just wake up and you're like, alright, it's time.
It's not magical.
It's like the same thing, like I wake up and you're like, oh, I need to pee. Same thing. It's like, it's a need.
So it was instinct.
Yes, it was.
And
then you and I went to go pick out a ring. You should have seen this coming, but you didn't.
yeah.
We'll talk about that part later. But anyway, before all of this was planning, I had like a million different ideas. I wanted, one, for it to be very meaningful. Two, I wanted to get something out of it too, because it's about both of us. And three, I wanted it to be fun and memorable, something crazy that we would never forget.
Yeah.
And here we are 4 years later talking about it. But, and number 5, what number are we on?
I don't know.
Whatever number we're on. I needed to make sure that it was something that wasn't too public because that she wouldn't have liked it. She already said it's like, you do something public, I'm gonna whoop your
I didn't
ass.
Want it to be too public. I didn't want like a full-on like crowd. I just wanted it to be very intimate.
So the original plan was crazy. Lisa's dream, like definitely bucket list, one of them was to meet Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, if you're watching this, I love you. I love him as an actor. He's so funny.
So that was the first idea. I was like, all right, well, how do we get in touch with him? And I was like, all right, let's see if we can get that to work. And then I tapped into my entire network. I was asking people who knew people who knew people. Shout out to anybody that I asked for help because I feel like I asked a lot of people and I was trying to keep this really on the down low because I didn't want her to know because she's really nosy. So
all girls are nosy.
the crazy thing was, the person that helped was right under my nose. So Kevin, thank you. But it turns out that Kevin is good friends with Lil Mama. Lil Mama had contact with Terry Crews' wife. And that's how we were able to make
such a small connection. Just 2 peoples removed from us is Terry Crews.
Kinda.
3 people.
Some kind of math, whatever the
3
math
people
is.
removed from us is Terry Crews.
Yeah, that was really crazy. And I was like, Kevin, I should have asked you first. But the funny thing is, after I told him, I expected him to be like laughing because it sounded like a total joke. But he was sort of just like, oh, okay, I don't really get it, but okay. Like, it seemed like the most random thing. Like, anyway, long story short, he was able to get contact with her. She contacts Terry Crews' wife. I also offered, in exchange for doing all this, to donate to a charity as part of my proposal on that end. Long story short, we ended up getting rejected. He gets hit with these proposals all the time. Anyway.
That would have been cool.
It really would have. I kept thinking about that. And I didn't tell her until like way afterwards. I was like, well, the original plan was. Yeah. Plan number 2. Plan number 2 was to go on a destination and then do the proposal there. This took a lot of planning because I had to figure out 1, where are we going? 2, how are we gonna get there? 3, how am I gonna do this? And a million other things. I ended up finding a really, really cheap deal to Paris. And it was on a now defunct airline called WOW Airlines. And the tickets were something like $500, something like a little bit more than $500 round trip.
And there was no cushions in the seat.
No cushions, no entertainment, nothing. It was a rough flight. I let Ricky know, you can watch his videos here, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. Wherever it is, I'll go. And so he booked it on the same airline.
Ricky's always down.
Yeah, exactly. and he ended up coming along. She had no idea, and we kept this total secret. And this was great because then I would be able to get help during this whole proposal and have somebody to film it for us. But before hopping on the plane, I needed to make sure that we had a photographer, number one, because I need to make sure this was entirely planned.
Documented.
Yeah, she has no idea where we're going until we get to the airport.
So we ended up going to Paris, France. Yeah.
It was our first time. It was our first time in Europe, period.
Yeah. And at this point, I was just like, okay, cool. Because Peter always like surprises me with things randomly all the time. Like he's not like super romantic, but he like likes to surprise me sometimes. So we got to Paris, and then we got to our hotel, which is really cute. Really cute. And then we did a little bit touring. First day, we did eating. We went to the Eiffel Tower.
We went a little picnic there.
Yeah.
We bought candy. We ate probably about 14 croissants in the first
Took
day.
a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Because when in Paris, take a lot of photos.
Yeah. Yeah, and the weather was perfect, so we were able to walk around everywhere.
Yeah.
It was great.
I should have known because, come on, Paris is the city of love.
Yeah, exactly. But she didn't know.
But it was Paris. I was like, yes, I'm in Europe. And
Yeah.
then the next day, Peter's like, oh, we're gonna do this tour, and then we're gonna have lunch afterwards, so you have to dress really nice. So I was like, oh, okay. I got dressed, had heels on. We got into our Uber to go to the destination that we had our tour at. And then we got off the Uber, and it's freaking on the... All the roads are cobblestone in Paris. So I was like fucking pissed off. I was like, Peter! He told me to wear heels and I had to walk on this cobblestone. He's like, it's only a short walk, shut up.
Yeah, that was the longest Uber ride of my life. It was only like 6 or 7 minutes, but that whole time I'm just thinking like, trying to pre-plan everything in my head, hopefully everything's going okay. And prior to that, I texted Ricky and our photographer. I'm like, okay, we're on our way now, be ready. And then Ricky was like, okay, it's there. And then I had him set up a book because our first date ever was to go see the movie Up. So I had our adventure book planted there, and Ricky helped place it there. He's like, 3-point line, upper right corner. I was like, okay, I know exactly where that is. And the whole time I'm like checking my pocket, all right, ring's still there. All right, 2 seconds, oh no, it's still there. That's how it was, pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, so got off the Uber, went to this bridge, and then all of a sudden I see our adventure book there. I was like, how did this get here? Wait, how did this get here? How the fuck did this get here? I was so confused. I'm like, what? This is our adventure book. And then we opened it up. Peter printed all these photos from all of the years that we've known each other and that we've dated.
And at that point, did you know what was up?
Yeah, because it's freaking weird. And then at the end of the book, and it said to be filled with more memories together. And then I turn around and Peter goes on his knees. I was like crying a little bit, and it was very quick, I felt like. I said yes, and then freaking Ricky fucking comes running up after us. I was like, what the fuck?
In his inside-out Clippers jacket, just in case somebody recognizes it.
Right after, yeah, Ricky comes out of nowhere running towards us. Why do you wear your shirt backwards?
In case you saw my hoodie that says Clippers on it, man. You have no idea how everything.
I was like, whoa.
What the fuck?
That had to be like the biggest surprise of your life, like out of all of these things, right?
I was really happy though. It was really fun. And then our photographer got introduced to our photographer who was documenting the whole thing. And then we took a couple of photos afterwards for like an hour or two. Their photos were really beautiful. We'll put a couple here, and then here, and here. And it was really fun. And then afterwards we got done with our photos. We went wine tasting, and that was really fun. And they gave us free champagne because we just got engaged.
Yeah.
And then the next day we went to Disneyland Paris. It was a lot of fun. Disney Paris is a lot smaller than in the US, but yeah, we had a really fun trip with our friend Ricky.
Yeah. Forever grateful that he came along, helped us out,
Yeah.
and we have memories forever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's our story. We got engaged in the city of love.
Yeah, so for overall advice, I'd say make sure that you know your your significant other well enough to know the type of proposal and do something fun that you guys will both enjoy.
Destination is always a good idea though.
Yeah, because it was fun. So if you guys are, or if you couples out there or anything like us, definitely do a destination one because it was a ton of fun. And like, this is probably one of the most memorable things that we've ever done. Yeah, and we're still talking about it now, and we'll probably talk about it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it was really memorable. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up, smash that like button, and also subscribe if you haven't. And we will see you next week in our next video. Bye bye!